One man can make an impact on this war. Just maybe not the way you think.
Jack, you see that? Looks like 2 fighters.
Hold on.
Those are RAF fighters.
Crazy Brits.
Too easy.
No! Let her rip!
Nazi pilots! No survivors.
You're lucky they found the American bomber intact.
What is this? Take him.
Sorry about your friend. After they take you, well, how many come back? What are they up to?
They have developed a single bomb that could destroy an entire city.
Do not forget our orders. No survivors.
Stop fire.
Did say one man can make a difference. Let's find out.
Our turrets, open fire!
I think they're gonna bomb London. Arm up. Follow me.
You let one soldier defeat an entire patrol.
Where's this pilot now?
Do not know, sir.
We're gonna use our bombers.
No. Fall back!
Just a little scratch. This ends now.
Michael, how you doing today?
I'm doing very well, and the fact that our movie is opening tomorrow, I'm doing relatively calm, so that's a good thing.
I was actually going to start with that. How you doing? This must be a whirlwind for you, you know, in terms of your first theatrical directorial debut. And I watched the last week, and I have to say, I was impressed. And no offense, but I did not know of this movie beforehand until I got the original email from the PR people. And then when I did see it, I was like, holy cow, what is this? And it did not disappoint, sir.
Thank you very much. I sincerely appreciate that. And first, there's a very impressive action figure collection behind you. I think that's awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
I grew up collecting Star Wars toys and some GI Joes, so I totally feel you.
Go ahead.
But no, whirlwind is absolutely how to describe the last few days, especially last few weeks. We've been working on this for about 4 years, blood, sweat, and tears every single day to get to this point. So I am both thankful and elated, and also kind of like almost hiding under a table, just like hoping it goes well. But no, I could not be more thrilled. And I'm really glad that you enjoyed the film. And I am not offended whatsoever that it came out of nowhere. It seems like that's how a lot of people are reacting to it, like, oh, what's this? You know, but as long as they like it, that's fine with me.
Yeah, I saw the poster and I was like, this is in my wheelhouse. What is this? I need to check this out. You know, of course, I went through the email and everything. I watched the trailer I was like, holy cow. I'm like, how did I not know about this movie? But before we talk about that, real quick, I just want, because I read your profile because they gave it to me. You were inspired by Michael Bay's The Rock. It said that, you know, that's what turns you into wanting to be a filmmaker. Is that correct?
That is very correct. When I was growing up,
that's a good movie to do it.
Oh, it's still one of my favorites to this day.
I do.
It doesn't get much better for action and the emotion in it, and really that's what hooked me, the emotion, the style, the feel, the tone, you know, everything that he did directing that movie. It was the first time I really realized how directing specifically can totally change the storytelling, totally create an experience that's very unique and just like pulls you in and grabs you and doesn't let you go. And until then, I thought maybe I want to be an actor, maybe I want to be a pilot like my dad. My mom is an artist, so it's like best of both worlds. And since I was 12 and I saw that, it was literally no plan B, no looking back, have to be a film director. And so this is literally decades in the making coming true.
Awesome. Now let's talk about the movie. Now this is based on a true story, is it not? The elite German unit that did this to British and American airplanes.
It is, and you know, there's some people online that are debating that right now, even from the trailer. I think they should see the film, and that'll hopefully fill in a lot of blanks. But
yes.
It absolutely is based on truth. KG 200, Kampfgeschwader 200, was a Special Forces Luftwaffe squadron, and one of their missions, they had several, was absolutely to capture and bring down without destroying Allied aircraft. Learning their secrets, learning how to fly them, how to fly against them. And what they unsuccessfully tried to do is use them as Trojan horses and join up as like a phantom, you know, B-17 with the squadron. And it never worked. They never were able to actually bomb, you know, London, for example. They were never able to heavily infiltrate Allied squadrons. They were told basically, if you don't turn around in 10 seconds, we're shooting you down. Right. And they always turned around. And it's kind of a shadowy part of history, because there's a few books, there's a few articles, but it's very anomalous what's true, what's not, how much is embellished. So our movie is absolutely based on truth, but then it is historical fiction going, what if they got this close to being able to succeed? And that's really where our movie takes it and runs with it.
That's what I loved about it, because like I've seen a lot of World War II films, and this was something different that I was like, ooh, this is interesting. You know, that's one aspect I liked about it. Now let's talk about the cast. You got James Maslow'll, Trevor Donovan. That's your two leads. James Maslow'll, I loved. You put him through the ringer in this movie. He's like an action star now, because he's running and gunning, he's flying planes, he's doing everything. So talk about him.
He is incredibly impressive. From just literally everything you just said. We did put him through the ringer. First day on set, it was like, hi, nice to meet you in person. We're throwing you up in the back seat of a P-51 in 30 minutes. Good luck. I'll be on the radio. And I mean, he was trying, you know, not to get sick up there, doing barrel rolls, aileron rolls, pulling G's. You know, he was a real trooper doing that. He did not have a stunt double for any of his actions. So all of those jumps and hand-to-hand combat things, automatic weapons, ducking from spark hits, that's all him. And I have to say the same for Trevor Donovan, and the same for the entire cast. Everyone did their own stunts, and that was partially due to budget. That was partially due to wanting it to be as authentic as possible. Everyone rose to that occasion. But to specifically talk about James, I mean, he's hungry, he's intense, he's very on and present. He had great ideas, great nuances, and, you know, being Jewish in real life like myself, the role meant a little more to him, you know, than usual. And his grandfather flew B-17s in World War II, so it was kind of a full circle project for him.
Now, what I like now, this movie has the best of both worlds. If you're a man or a teenager, you got ground combat and you got aerial combat, and you put, and it is just wall to wall. Now let me talk about the effects and the stunt work. That's what I loved about it, because it's practical, is it not? Because when there's explosions, you got stuntmen flying into the air like 50 feet. I was just like floored with it. It was like watching an 80s movie.
I genuinely appreciate that, because what the mission statement was, and all of the crew, you know, was working towards this goal. I really wanted to do a classic World War II, like 1930s, 40s, or 50s story and meld it with an 80s or 90s action movie, because that's what I grew up loving. And I've never seen that done before. I've never seen, the kind of Schwarzenegger or Stallone movie, combined with this kind of historical fiction. And I grew up loving Top Gun, so it's like it was a natural fit. And we went as practical as we possibly could. There's 400 plus CG shots in the film, but a lot of that is like erasing safety wires, erasing ratchet harnesses, because they really were flying 50 feet in the air on pulley systems, and the tracer fire from planes. The squibs were almost entirely real, but some were enhanced. Sometimes it's like the gun was too close to fire a real blank, so it's like add in a muzzle flash, but we kept everything as practical as we could, as partially an homage to those films I grew up with, but also it makes it better, it makes it more exciting. I hate when I'm watching an action movie and it feels like a cartoon. So we went as real as we could, and both in the air and on the ground, the teams were so willing and so dedicated. I can never thank them enough.
Now, this movie is coming out at the perfect time, because we all know Top Gun Maverick came out last week, and that is a phenomenal movie. Now, I got to tell you, and I'm not lying, and again, I'm not sugarcoating this, is because I'm talking to you. I saw your movie first, and I was like, I'm ready for Top Gun now, because I was floored by this movie. And I want to talk about the vintage airplanes. How did you execute the aerial dogfights? Because not that I didn't like the ground action, because I'm a big fan of machine gun, and shooting and explosions, but talk about doing the vintage stuff with the airplanes and doing the aerial stuff.
Well, the aerials would not have been possible without three individual, two are organizations. The Yankee Air Museum, based in Ypsilanti, Michigan, the Military Aviation Museum, based in Virginia Beach, and Craig Hosking, who was the aerial coordinator and lead pilot for Dunkirk and countless other movies. He flew for Michael Bay's Pearl Harbor, and he agreed to do this, and so did aerial DP Dwayne McClintock, who is one of the best there is. And without everyone I just listed, this movie would not exist. We were humongously lucky to get the support from the museums. I literally said, so I'd like to do humongous dogfights with your priceless planes and push them beyond the limit of what you guys normally do. And we can hardly afford to do it. Can we do that? And they actually said yes. And Craig was just so passionate from day one. He actually told me after the final flights, he said, we got some of my favorite stuff I've ever shot. And I almost teared up, for real, because knowing his resume, that meant the world to me. And everything was methodical. We did a flight briefing before every flight. We had 4 to 5 cameras rolling usually. All the pilots walked through the maneuvers in the hangar, literally walking as if they were their planes. And then up in the air, Craig executed everything, calling all the shots. We had cameras handheld, mounted on his plane in the gyro stabilized system. I was shooting on the ground with super long lenses, being buzzed a lot of the time. And I will say, that's a very curious moment in life to reflect on, where it's so how intelligent was I to say, okay, Spitfire, please fly at my head and then pull up 10 feet before you hit me. And honestly, I would do that again. But it's a little intense.
Now, obviously, that this movie's complete and coming out, which is phenomenal. Do you have a bug for doing more World War II type action movies, or would you like to do something more modern? What's your take for the future?
Oh God, all of the above.
Okay.
If the story is right, if the actors and the cast is right, and the content and what I'd be able to do with it, I would love to do another World War II story, possibly a sequel to this. I have a story idea. We have a Western that we're working on. We have a couple sci-fi ideas, a couple modern day, kind of 80s and 90s style again in terms of the lighting we would do, the action we would do, but kind of updating it to modern times. Even a couple video game adaptations that my writing partner Tim Ritchie and I have talked about. So honestly, I just love making movies, and as long as movie number 2 is hopefully even better than movie number 1, I'm open to all types of options.
Yeah, because you beat me too. Because I was actually saying how I'd like to see Captain David Holden, in another movie, in another adventure, because I was digging his character. Obviously, and I love the supporting cast too. I can't talk about all of them because I don't have time, but it's like I love how World War II movies, because you get all these different types of characters from different parts of the world, and of course in America and everything. But I would love to see like him and these guys hook up again and go on some kind of covert mission or something, because I was sold from the beginning that and the dogfight at the beginning is impressive. It's long. I was like, wow. I was looking at my clock, not because of a bad thing, but I was like, wow, this is impressive. So yeah, so I would love to see a follow-up to this in the future.
Well, I may have to let Lionsgate know that you said that, and also I appreciate that you noticed, like, that was absolutely intentional. One of my least favorite things about certain action movies is if there's just not enough action, and if the big thing that you come to see the movie for, 5 minutes, it's done, or the big finale is like 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Like I love the James Cameron method of the finale is an hour, of the movie, or 45 minutes. And I really wanted to open it with a bang. And, it was originally longer. We cut it down so that the pace never dropped. Like we wanted it to always be forward motion and excitement. But I'm very glad you noticed that, because it is difficult to keep a scene like that going. And I'm thrilled with how that came out.
And then also with the finale, of course, I'm not going to spoil anything, but there's, not to give anything away, there's a big firefight. I mean, if you watch the trailer, you know that they're shooting galore. But that too, I was like, normally, like I watch like I would say an independent feature film, it's like the finale's like 5 minutes long. This one was going on, and I was like, this is like the most awesome thing I've ever seen, because it just keeps going, and there's more death and destruction. So like the finale was like a great compliment to the beginning, and of course, it's not over because you get more dogfighting, so it's like, it's just, there's not a lot of breathing in this movie is what I'm trying to say.
Again, thank you for noticing it, and I that was by design. And not to spoil anything, I think there are 3 finales in the finale. So that was, in the tradition of like Star Wars, James Bond, and again, my favorite movies like T2, it's that same thing. It's like it just doesn't stop. Or Aliens, it's like it doesn't stop going. And some people, like I've heard even back in film school, action's the easiest stuff to shoot. Not really. It was again, passion, blood, sweat, and tears is why that exists. So I'm very thankful we were able to execute that and put it on the screen.
Well, like I said, like this is the perfect movie to have a double feature with Top Gun Maverick, because you got vintage and then you got hypersonic, and it's like the best of both worlds. And I can't wait, for that to come out on home video, because that's what I'm going to be doing.
Well, I'm going to be seeing it hopefully this weekend. I've been so busy I haven't seen it yet, but I will say, truly, like, growing up as a gigantic Tony Scott fanatic, and Top Gun and Star Wars, the first 2 movies I remember seeing on my parents' VCR, to even be in the conversation or mentioned, with Top Gun 2, that is one of the most surreal things of my entire life. So, I never would have imagined that we'd be coming out like within a week of that. So it's very surreal.
Absolutely. So I won't take up any more of your time, because I know you're a busy man, but I enjoyed talking to you. And again, I'm trying to do my review came out yesterday when the embargo dropped, and I did an audio review for it. And everything I said in it was it was sincere. Like I said, I'm just telling people, you got to see this movie. You got to see this movie. This movie is, if you want action, you got planes and machine guns. It's like you can't go wrong with it, sir. And like I said, it came out of nowhere, and it was a pleasant surprise, for this year.
Thank you, man. I cannot tell you enough that I deeply appreciate that and means a lot to me. I'm thrilled that you enjoyed the movie, and I hope maybe this time next year we're talking about movie number 2.
I would love to. Yeah, I was just going to say that hopefully in the future we'll talk again, about something similar to this, sir. So then again, tomorrow it comes out, Wolf Hound, which I love the name too. That just piques your interest too, right there. So everybody go see this movie, or when it streaming or home video or whatever the case may be, just watch it on the biggest screen possible, 75-inch, 80-inch. If you can't make it to the theaters, because it's worth it.
Thank you so much, man. I genuinely appreciate it. Yeah, I can't wait for movie number 2.
Okay. Well, you have a wonderful day and enjoy all the success, sir. Enjoy all the excitement surrounding it, because you did a good job, sir.
Thank you so much, man. And thank you for having me on. This has been a lot of fun.
All right. Have a good day.
All right. You too.
Bye-bye.